So we're here in the Rembrandt House Museum in the Netherlands. The museum has arranged for us to come in and allowed us to record video. We're going to be checking out the different rooms that Rembrandt worked. We're going to be going into his studio. There's an artist here that's going to be doing a demonstration on how to make paint. So stick around and check out the video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe and share the content with your friends.
The Rembrandt House Museum is located in Jodenbeestraat in the center of Amsterdam. Rembrandt occupied this house between 1639 and 1658. The house served as Rembrandt's studio, atelier, and art dealership. He bought the house for 13,000 guilders on January 5, 1639. The museum was restored in 1907 and officially opened on June 10, 1911. After Rembrandt's bankruptcy in 1658, the house was auctioned and sold. The house was used as a residence and was renovated several times. The building was redesigned in the 20th century on the basis of the inventory that was drawn up during Rembrandt's bankruptcy. During Rembrandt's time, visitors entered the house and immediately were greeted by a large room with paintings for sale. This room was meant to be a sort of modern-day gallery where Rembrandt displayed his own paintings as well as that of his master Peter Lasman. Rembrandt acted both as an artist and dealer. This was a common practice during the time. The back room, known as the salon, was Rembrandt's bedroom. This is the room the artist depicted in many of his drawings, such as Interior with Saskia, House of the Frick collection in New York. On the second floor, the visitors immediately confronted with Rembrandt's beautiful studio. I could not help to notice the soft northern light entering the room. To my surprise, the museum was hosting a paint-making demonstration as part of their educational activities.
Circles in it, they put in a vessel, they added vinegar on it, and they covered it with horse manure. I know some of you are thinking, what's the relation? How they come to such a combination? Horse manure, lead, vinegar, Dutch. Horse manure produces warmth and carbon dioxide. And warmth makes that the vinegar activates with the lead and the carbon dioxide and produces a white corrosion on the surface of the lead. When you take it out and scratch it, you have the white color. You make a mountain, you make a hole in the middle for a volcano, and you put the volcano in it. Only the difference is that French, they use melted butter to make the croissant. I use oil. That's the difference. Why we use, what for oil is this? It's linseed oil. Linseed oil, yes. And that's this one. It's superfood nowadays. Linseed oil, like walnut oil also, they dry relatively fast. If you make a very thin layer, within 4 or 5 days it's dry. So that's why they use linseed oil. Of course, walnut oil you could use also, but walnut is expensive, linseed is cheap, so then you do this one, and they do this one. We add some oil here in the middle, like the volcano I said, and then we mix them together. As you see, I didn't put too much oil for how much pigment it is, and that was very important actually at that time, because pigments were expensive. So when you start the day, you think, I need so much yellow, you put that much powder here to make the paint. If I put too much oil and suddenly it's a little bit liquidish, I want to make it harder, I have to add some more pigment to make it hard. That means I made actually a little bit more pigment than I need that day. At the end of the day, something will remain over. I have to throw it, and it's pity because some are very expensive. So what you do, you better start little by little, add up, so you're sure you don't need to add pigment later. I put some drops from this one maybe. Once it's a little mixed together, if I leave it like this, within a while you will see that the oil is separating from the pigment again. It's not really mixed. It's just the pigment particles are wet with oil, and that's it. But then I will do something different. Once I think it's good mixed a little bit, I will clean up my knife. And I will actually crush the particles of the grains of the pigment in the oil. I try to make them one homogeneous thing that they never separate anymore. Then I just press and make like that movement. Then I take it out, and I make one more time. Actually, I need a volunteer to help me. Any volunteer here between you?
The Rembrandt House Museum offers a unique experience to visitors. I really enjoyed the demonstration hosted by the museum, and the artist on staff even went as far as offering his audience to participate in the paint-making process, something most art schools do not even teach nowadays.
One homogeneous piece, paste actually. She will do this around 2.5, 3 hours, and then we'll see what's the result. Those are the amounts actually you made at that time also. Even if you have a big piece of the same color you have to color, it was better to make a very small amount and then 10, 15 times maybe than one time big amount. Because if you make big amount, maybe you estimated wrong and half of it you use and rest you don't use, you have to throw it. But if you make small amounts, you're always safer. If you will throw something, it's very little that you will throw. You're always safe. So it was better to make 10, 15 times than one big one.
I have a question. There's recent research that has pointed out that Rembrandt used quartz for some of his later
Yes.
grounds.
Yes.
Is this a sand that he was using and grinding it down?
Rembrandt was an experimental person. He was really like, I call it artistic soul he had. He experimented everything. He didn't care about the clients. Because when they made an investigation about the Night Watch, one of the biggest paintings of him, he was paid almost 2 years' salary for it. If I get a project like that, I will get paid 2 years' salary in one project. I will be very precise. I will not risk. I will not make experiments there. I will just use what I know. I'm sure of it because I don't want to lose that money. Rembrandt didn't care. We found that on the ground of the painting, he had eggshells in it. Just trying quartz, sand actually in it. I would think, and he didn't use it before, I would think, are you crazy? What if the paint doesn't fix, it falls? You lose the money. And big money, it's not a joke. It's not a portrait of someone, it's big money. He didn't care.
As I walked around Rembrandt's studio, there was an array of details relevant to the artist's trade during the 17th century. Sitting next to Rembrandt's easel, the museum had on display a pincelette. This was a vessel used by the old masters. This object was usually made of wood and filled with linseed or walnut oil. Artists would lay their brushes in this wooden box so the colors would not dry. This allowed artists to simply skip the task of washing their brushes every day, and at the same time the oil in the vessel would become fat and it served the artist as a strong drying medium for future projects. I found Rembrandt's studio fascinating. I was very impressed with the museum's attention to detail in every aspect of the artist's methods and materials. One such case was the canvas on Rembrandt's easel, demonstrating the artist's use of a double ground consistent with recent findings, specifically research published by the National Gallery Rembrandt Art in the Making book. Visiting this amazing place was a remarkable experience. I felt transported in time, and the museum exhibits allow me to have a deeper understanding of one of my favorite artists' life and work. In my second video featuring Rembrandt's house, I will continue our tour and I will share another demonstration hosted by the museum dedicated to Rembrandt's etching techniques. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out my online courses in the description below, dedicated to the drawing and painting techniques of the old masters.